with Eric Vincent for your favorite Detroit sports show. We're a little late, little technical difficulties. We apologize for that, but we have a huge show for you tonight. We're going to talk about the Lions say bye, 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 like NSYNC to Jeff Okudah. And then we are also going to talk about Jalen Carter, get into a little bit of his highlights because we believe he's number 2. What are you laughing at me for?
You just did an NSYNC reference to open the show. Don't worry about me. Keep going.
Oh, yeah, I did.
Keep going.
Hey, listen, let's talk Jeff Okudah. We got CJ Stroud in Motown as well. And Devin White from Tampa Bay also wants out. We're going to get to all that and more, plus some Jalen Carter next. You ready, Eric?
Let's do this, baby.
All right, we are ready to jump into this episode of Beyond the Box coming at you live. We got Jeff Okudah hitting the road. We got Devin White wanting to hit the road. And we got CJ Stroud in town as well. We will get to that. I want to remind you that we do have super chat and super stickers, the fun and interactive way to engage with us here tonight. So send messages and stickers that stand out from the crowd while supporting the show. And you can also check out gear from Detroit Sports Nation right there from Detroit, gearupdetroit.shop. They'll be popping up throughout the show, so make sure you click on one and gear up the right way. Now, Eric, you called this. You gonna take your credit or what?
I feel like this is like a norm for like when we start these. Eric, say that again. Say it one more time for me, please. If you'd be so kind.
Eric, you called this.
And
it wasn't that long ago. It wasn't even really like a hot take. That was like 2 weeks ago you called this.
Anybody wants to win the Powerball, anybody trying to win the lottery, come holler at me. DM me after the show. I'll get you the information you need. But yes, I absolutely saw this coming. And the writing was on the wall. It wasn't that hard to figure out. I mean, you bring in 3 starting caliber corners, all high-end veterans, guys that really don't have much to, well, I don't want to say they don't have much to prove, but one of them really does. It's Mosley. But Sutton, CJ Gardner-Johnson, those are veterans, and those are guys that have been established in the league at this point. Okudah, going into his, 4th or 5th season at this point, he's still kind of a project. Like, his first few years couldn't stay healthy. He played good last season for a half and then kind of regressed and was getting benched in the second half of the season. So knowing that they crowded the cornerback room that much the way they did, I'm not surprised that it came to this. I thought he was going to be traded during the draft, but maybe that was my wishful thinking of the Will Anderson scheming that I got in my head. But outside of that, this is surprising to me. The writing was on the wall as soon as free agency started, honestly.
It is surprising or it is not surprising?
It's not to me.
Okay, because I thought you said it was surprising, and I was like, wait a second. It can't be surprising if you called it. Yeah, at the end of the day, this is a reset for everybody, and the Lions get to go like this.
That's it.
Goodbye, Quinn Trisha era.
Yes.
Goodbye, the Dark Ages.
Yes.
Goodbye, the Patriots way. Because it's over. And Brad Holmes and Dan Campbell, they are ripping and raring to rock. Now, listen, Okudah was okay last year. He wasn't great. Had some decent numbers, especially against the run. But he had no spot. He had no position on the field whatsoever with the moves that they made this offseason. I love James seems excited. He says, right? Ready to go. And
I think that's
you.
I think that's yo.
Whatever. It's the swagless AJ coming out.
That's that showed right there.
I'm quoting NSYNC. I'm getting yo's wrong.
This is
whatever.
We're on fire to start this.
Hey, it wouldn't be a Thursday night if we weren't on Beyond the Box having fun.
Yeah, right. I love you, man.
So a 5th round pick is all they got back.
Yeah.
Is that enough?
Yeah, I'm not tripping. Like, again, at this point, Okudah was one of the biggest pieces of the Quinn Trisha era that was still left over. It was Trey Flowers. It was the dealing of Darius Slay and Quandre Diggs, and also the gamble on Jeff Okudah. Like, those were some of the more questionable moves that they made. So removing that, even if it was for a fifth, I'm okay with it. I didn't think it was going to be a huge pack. Like, he's not good. So, I mean, you weren't going to get a ton back for him, which is kind of why I thought it would be included in a move up trade value type situation. So I'm not surprised, especially for the team that went and got him. Atlanta's a team that's trying to rebuild. They don't really have a direction right now. It makes sense for them to go after him. I get it.
Yeah, they can give him that 1 year kind of prove it deal. He plays well.
Yep,
They could sign him to a decent
exactly.
deal. He was the number 3 overall pick a few years ago. Although, and we've discussed this before, and I believe it to be true with all my heart. I think everybody lauded him for his coverage skills coming out of college because he was such a great lockdown corner.
Mm-hmm.
But I think he was more product of the people that played in front of him than his actual skill in the defensive secondary. And I think that's going to show when you get to Atlanta. I can't remember. Do we play Atlanta this year?
We play the NFC South, so yeah, pretty sure we got him.
Good. We know who we're going after because he can't cover anything.
And J-Mo wanted his jersey, so if he gets to light him up in that game too, in his number 1 jersey, that'll turn you into a fan. That'll stop all your J-Mo hate for sure.
I saw a tweet from somebody that said the body isn't even cold yet, J-Mo. Like, slow down.
He didn't wait at all.
He did not wait.
I need that number 1.
Again, I love it, but at the same time, I'm like, dude, come on.
You know, he's got them growing up. He's got to see.
Like,
it's okay.
Seriously. This is a good comp for Okudah, another tease table. I mean, that was brutal. Guy that ran a
that class
5 flat 40 in the secondary that we took in the second. Whatever. Quinturcia's gone. We don't have to worry about them anymore. What we do have to worry about is Brad Holmes and Dan Campbell. And I say worry, but we really don't have to because they've built, I think, enough cachet with us over the first 2 years to really kind of trust what they're doing. Well, one thing that they are doing, reports came out, Eric, that they're bringing in CJ Stroud for one of their top 30 interviews.
Yeah.
How do you feel about that?
I was surprised. I was pretty surprised. We kind of talked about it on the last show that they're making sure that no stones are left unturned.
Yep.
I understand that, but
I thought they would do that.
Yeah, and I thought they were gonna kind of focus more on the range of players that they were not interested in, but realistically could get. I don't think there's any way that CJ or Bryce Young slide outside of 2. Mm-hmm. But I mean, this is them doing their due diligence and keeping everything close to the chest on what they're planning. Just saw an interview with Dan Campbell. He was speaking very vague in a lot of the answers he's giving. Yeah. And this is a bit of a curveball just for teams to go, oh, well, what are they planning? What are they doing? Fans are saying the exact same thing. And it's not a bad move. It's smart. Again, it doesn't, tip their hand on what they're trying to do. Mm-hmm. I don't think they're going to draft him. So fans, we can all relax on that. But this is what you're supposed to do. This is the due process that winning franchises do before the draft.
Yeah, and it's nothing more than a smokescreen. I mean, CJ Stroud's not getting out of the first 2 picks unless Houston pulls a wild card and goes like Will Anderson at 2. And then tries to trade back up into the top 10, which highly unlikely, right?
Yeah, I don't see that.
But it's a message. It's the Lions saying, hey, if he's there, we might be interested. So how much you want to give us for that pick? And I'm okay with that. It's exactly, actually, apropos to the situation that happened this week. It's exactly what Bob Quinn should have been doing when he drafted Jeffrey Okudah.
Right.
It's exactly what he should have been doing because you had Justin Herbert and Tua Tagovailoa on the board at that time, and you took a corner with the 3rd overall pick.
Yep.
I don't see Brad Holmes doing that unless the deal is just not there.
Mm-hmm.
Or the quarterback's not there. I mean, some of the latest mocks that I saw today had the 4 quarterbacks going the first 4 spots.
I saw that
with Seattle taking Jalen Carter and Will Anderson falling into the Lions' lap. And I was like, stop the count. Stop the count right now. We want Will. I don't care what else happens in the 2nd, 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th, millionth round. If that happens, there's going to be some things thrown at our live draft show. Yes. Out of excitement, not out of anger, out of excitement because incredible.
Yeah,
would you want CJ Stroud? Like, let's say he's there at 6. For some reason, he's fallen. Would you want CJ Stroud at 6.
No, I don't think so. I like him. I don't think I'd hate it, but I don't think I would want him out the gate. He would have to prove me wrong for where my not disdain, but I wouldn't want him based on what they need and the quarterbacks that I like kind of ahead of him at this point. Like he's a good player. I think he maybe could fit it in Carolina or wherever he ends up falling, but he's a guy that's gonna need a lot of help around him. That's not there yet at this point. The Lions maybe could masquerade him to look better than he is because of the foundational pieces around him that are already set, but personally, I don't know. Like he's I think fooled a lot of people maybe because of how he played in the playoffs, but there were some other games like Northwestern and some other games he had throughout the regular season where he didn't look as highly touted as he's being put up right now. So personally,
Yeah,
if he dropped to 6, I wouldn't be in love with the idea. No.
I wouldn't be in love with it either. Hal 9000 when you're saying that Stroud's okay. I don't really want an
Yeah,
okay
right.
quarterback with
No.
the 6th overall pick. It's just not something that I'm interested in. Could he be good? Yeah, he's probably the safest quarterback out of all the 4. He's probably the safest pick.
You think he's safer than Bryce Young?
Yeah, I do. I think Bryce Young with his small frame and all that.
Uh,
I comped him to Teddy Bridgewater earlier today because I kind of feel like I kind of get those vibes. Like could come out of the gate like moving, lacks development, and then falls into a backup role.
for Bryce Young?
Yeah.
Wow.
Another
That's
comp
a
I heard was Russell Wilson, but he'd have to develop into that. And I just I don't see it. I don't. Maybe he'll prove me wrong. Like he's the one I'm the most unsure about.
okay.
Like,
That's a big drop off between Russell Wilson and
is
Teddy
it though? I mean,
Bridgewater.
look at Russ.
Yeah.
Look at Russ this last year.
Okay, well Russ now, yeah, but Russ with the Seahawks. Let's say after the Legion of Boom,
Built up by a
he's a
very
top 5,
strong
top
running
10
game.
guy. I don't
Tell me
think
I'm wrong.
so. You're
Tell me I'm
wrong. I
wrong.
don't think that's.
He
I don't
doesn't
think
have
that's
Marshawn
correct.
Lynch. He's not Russell Wilson anymore.
No. I mean, I said post Legion of Boom. So when they had DK Metcalf, Tyler
Still wasn't
Lockett,
great.
he was a top 10 quarterback.
Ah,
He was a top 10 quarterback in
I
his
mean, we've
last
had
few
this
years.
discussion, right? Like Goff was a top 10 quarterback this year. So
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. But I don't know. I think Russ gives you a little bit more than that. And then again, the point you said you copped him to Teddy Bridgewater. He's gonna go number 1 overall or 2 at the worst. You think he might be Teddy B?
I don't know. Yeah, why not? I don't
That's
dislike
nasty.
Teddy B. I just
That's nasty.
a skinny quarterback that's not solidly built. He's gonna have some issues in the NFL. Some big issues.
Maybe
Is he
so.
Is he a safe pick at number 1? Maybe. I wouldn't take him if I were the Carolina Panthers. So, that's kinda where I fall, man. Like, I just
I don't.
don't.
I haven't heard a comp from him that I like yet. I just listened to who was it just called him Patrick Mahomes? I think it was Todd McShay who said that he's a smaller Mahomes, or
No.
he reminds of Joe Burrow. Like, and then no, this you said Teddy B. Like, I don't think I've heard one that I like yet. No disrespect. I just think I
I
don't know. I
think
think he's
mine's
got
closer than
upside.
those 2 are.
I don't even know. That's a big gap between the two, so I don't even know how to judge that. Honestly. Yeah, I think he's got good upside. I think Bryce Young will be better than Justin Fields.
He was a
Honestly.
good college quarterback because of the system and team around him. He's the Jeff
It's
Okudah of
Bama. He got the
quarterbacks.
resources. Come on, now you being disrespectful. No, come on. Don't do that. Don't you dare do that. Now you just trolling.
I'm just saying. I mean, come on, right? Like the Jeff
He's
Okudah.
he's who no, come on. He's who I would want. We were talking about either it would be Stroud if he somehow fell. I wouldn't want that. But if Bryce Young, by the graces of the Lord, somehow got here, I would be
No.
doing backflips.
It's the same for me with Stroud. I wouldn't want either of them at 6. I feel like they'd settled for a quarterback at that point. Those 2 probably are the safest choices with the lowest ceilings. I think Levis probably has a higher ceiling than both of them, but also a worse floor. And Anthony Richardson, we've already talked about, has probably the highest ceiling out of anybody. So
Will Levis puts mayonnaise in his coffee, so he does not have a higher ceiling than anybody. I don't. He eats bananas with the banana in this wrap, so I don't want to hear nothing about Will Levis talk. We're not allowed to talk Will Levis on this show after what I saw from him. No,
That was
I will
disgusting.
not allow it.
That
Yes,
was disgusting. One more piece of news. Devin White wants out of Tampa Bay. Do you want Devin White in the Honolulu Blue? Spent his whole career in Tampa Bay. What do you think of the Lions making a move for him?
Okay, I'm gonna stay consistent. This whole offseason, I've said the Lions are in a position where they can make a splash, where they can go balls to the wall and bring in a proven talent that can help reshape their defense or offense. I've been out here 10 toes down saying I'll be all in for Lamar Jackson. I think Devin White kind of falls in the same category. He's a 25-year-old, one of a top 100 player in the league, one of the best linebackers at his position, and he's getting better. And Tampa Bay's in a position where they're going to have to let a lot of those pieces go sooner than later because I don't think they have the finances to keep it, and I think they're going to be in a bad position. So for me, I believe the Lions are in position to go for him. I don't think they've making a splash this offseason. If they did go for him, I would be happy for it. I absolutely would be all in for it. I think he's a fantastic linebacker, and they still need to upgrade at that position. So that's just for me. What about you? Do you want him?
Is he a linebacker?
He,
Then
he is a
yes,
line.
I
Hold on,
want
let me
him.
check on ESPN. Yes, he's a linebacker.
Yes. Is it possible
Okay.
he could remove Anzalone from his spot on the field?
Check. Yes, he
Check.
can.
Is he younger than Anzalone?
Check.
Is he better than Anzalone?
Check.
Okay. I don't think we need to go any farther than that.
That's all.
And I don't even care that you spent the money on Anzalone. Go get Devin White so we don't have to see 34 in Honolulu Blue and his Thorlocks running sideline to sideline 2 steps behind everybody. Go get somebody. Go get somebody. Now
This is one of
listen.
those players, yeah,
Huh?
for sure. No, yeah, this is one of those players you do it for. I'm with you. Go ahead.
It absolutely is. It absolutely is. And all that's going to be decided here at the draft in a couple of weeks. Now, if you're excited about the draft, like we are, then we got a treat for you.
Yes, indeed, we do, everybody. Listen, join us for our exclusive 2023 NFL Draft live show where your favorite analysts, AJ, yours truly, and Dylan will be breaking down each first round pick as it happens. That's right, we're going to be reacting to all the live drama, surprises, and the jaw-dropping moments of this coming NFL Draft.
And the best part of it all is that we want you to be part of the action. So share your thoughts, reactions, and predictions in the live comments. And we will interact with you throughout the entire first round. Don't miss the chance to engage fellow Lions fans and have your voice heard.
Don't miss out, you guys. Mark your calendars for the 2023 NFL Draft live show, April 27th. We are 2 weeks away. April 27th is going to be hosted by Detroit Sports Nation. Be sure to subscribe to our channel and hit that notification bell so you don't miss a single moment of this epic event.
So be there and go Lions. We're going to have a
Yo.
blast. And like we
Yes.
did last week, Eric, our shows have turned into some highlight tape watching, right? We want to watch some highlight tapes of the top prospects that we think the Lions could take at 6. Last week we did Will Anderson. So make sure that you go and watch that live. And this week we're looking at Jalen Carter, who we believe is the number 2 person that the Lions should be going after. So,
Yes.
I'm going to hit play. This again is from the Just Bombs production, and I want to make sure that they get their shout out. But there's big 88, 6'3", 300 pounds, second ranked prospect overall, which is really a 1A and 1B with Will Anderson. That get off. That guy stood no chance.
Him in one-on-one matchups is not even fair.
And then
Like,
picks up
I don't think I've seen him. Yeah, I don't think I've seen him lose a one-on-one.
That swim move, though, right? He got that guy
Yes.
into his body, swam him off, threw him aside, and then, let's go for a walk.
Yep.
That was incredible. That's what you want to see out of a defensive tackle, right? The bull rush here, fighting through 2 guys, and takes Hendon Hooker down for the safety. Look at that. Got right to the arm. That's beautiful.
Power.
Textbook.
Big power right there. Yep. We got to get him a different
Textbook.
number. I don't know. He can't be 88. We got to give him something a little better than 88 if we go bring him here.
99, Warren Sapp, man.
Bow. I'm cool with that.
He's so
Look at that.
quick.
Just,
He's absolutely so quick. And again, right, we know that these are highlight tapes, so we're not trying to overreact to them, but they do give us a good idea of the quickness that's available, the technique that's available, little 3-point stance, B technique.
oh,
Right through that
just
guard to get to the running back.
destroyed number 50. Look at this.
Oh yeah.
Sit down. That's not even
So
fair.
one of the things they talk about with him is his size, that he may be a little bit too small for defensive tackle, but that really helps him get the leverage on those big guys. Now he'll have to up his strength for sure because NFL linemen are not college linemen, but like he's underneath every single one of these guards every time.
Yes.
Every time.
Yep. And you're seeing his impact. You're seeing when he bursts through that line, the whole line is crowded because of his impact, his ability to get in there early.
Shoulders parallel to the line of scrimmage.
Yes.
Beautiful.
This is exactly what this team needs. Him and Lee McNeil light up together, who I think who could be even more dominant than he was last season.
He's a big man with bend and elasticity. You sound like a scout, Hal 9000.
Look at you.
But yeah, for
Where's
sure.
Truth Teller? Where's Truth Teller at?
He saw Jalen Carter in the title. And he said, "Not tonight, boys.
Truth
Not
Teller,
tonight."
come on,
That's
man.
okay. It's okay. Those of you that are here, Austin and Hal 9000, thank you so much. I want to make sure I don't forget anybody. I haven't yet. All right. Make sure you drop a comment. Do you like Jalen Carter? Arms up, pass block, pass deflection, I mean.
I haven't seen a lot of pushback from Lions fans. A lot of them seem to be on board with him on the internet. Chat, I want to hear from y'all.
Really?
Yeah,
they don't want him because of the off-field issues, which we've discussed at length, and this is not really the show for that.
No.
But I love that he sits down. I love that he gets underneath that that pad level of the offensive lineman and just drives straight up through them. What a fantastic looking prospect. Now, there are people, Drew Johnson does not want him. Yeah, Dre Johnson does not want him. Big play. Jay says if Carter or Anderson is there at 6, you have to take either one.
Absolutely.
We have said that 100%. Austin says nope, Will Anderson. Let's be very clear, Austin. We also are saying Will Anderson if they're both there at 6. We don't believe that there should be anyone other than those two. And if those two are on the board, well, it's Will Anderson all day, every day.
Yes.
And twice on. So just make sure that, like, you get an opportunity to get him. Now, if you trade back prior to that, that could be a problem. But
yeah.
Or somebody trades up ahead of you. You can't control that, but you can control what you control in the draft. And if Jalen Carter is there, you got to take him.
Listen, I understand Lions fans being hesitant because of the off-field problems. I understand some of the reserve, but I don't think anybody would be mad if the Lions end up taking him. You can have the reserve, you can be suspicious, but as we've spoken about before, I believe they have enough of a foundation. I think they have enough leadership to make sure that he's in the best position to grow and mature. Let's take football aside. I think he has the ability to grow and mature with the leadership around him. Like, I just think that's possible. You don't have to give up on this kid, granted, just for what he did. Like, we're not excusing it, but I think there's more opportunity for him to grow in Detroit than anywhere else that could get him.
So we got about 5 minutes left, so let's get to some questions. So if you guys want to drop them into the chat, we will get to some questions, and we'll start with this one from Austin LeBeau. He says, what do you guys think about drafting former running back from Michigan, Charbonnet, in the second round? Eric, I'll let you take that one, and then I'll chime in with some thoughts.
In the second round, I don't think I'd like that. I don't know. For me, I'm not really high on getting a running back in this draft right now. Like, I'm really not. Like, I would understand it if you were to try him late and then maybe just stash him as a future prospect that you can maybe build up later or use him as a third down guy, maybe. But for me, I'm not high on the idea of getting a running back early at this point. Like, I think Monty is going to give you enough. You're going to feature him a lot. You're going to want to see Swift on the field as much as possible, and I think they have enough backs behind them to where you shouldn't have to be reaching for a running back, especially in the second round. Shumane maybe has a good upside at this point. I don't know, maybe not second round, honestly. No, I don't think I would want to see that, honestly. Not me.
You'd be against drafting Bijan at 18 if he were there.
Yeah, I don't even want to see that. No. I know it's a lot of love for Bijan, but it doesn't make sense at this point. Like, it really wouldn't.
Unless you move on from Swift, which we believe they might do.
Yeah. But I mean, I don't think it's a guarantee that they do that. Like, to me, I think they would have treated him like Okudah. Like, if they wanted to trade him, they'd probably do that soon rather than waiting in the middle of the season like Hawkinson got dealt. I don't think that's gonna happen.
But they also, with Hawkinson, wanted to see what they had. I think last year was an
Right.
evaluative year, kind of like this year is miserably for the Tigers. It's just evaluation happening all over the place. We're not talking about it. We're not talking
No.
about it. I still rep the
That was your
Tigers
stress coming
even
out.
when they're terrible.
That was your stress coming out. It's okay.
But I think if you get Will at 6 and Bijan's there at 18, that's not a very bad draft.
It's not
bad.
It's not. It's not the player. It's more so the position itself. Like, I don't have anything against Bijan. I just would rather see them ride out with Monty and Swift at this point than, try to gamble on a running back high. I just don't think they need to do that.
Yeah, so Big Boy J says second round, I believe O-line and linebackers should be the picks. Unless they trade for Devin White, then they don't need to pick a linebacker in the second round.
I keep seeing more and more mocks with Jack Campbell falling to the Lions. If you somehow could get Carter and Anderson to pair with Jack Campbell in that draft as well, you're going somewhere soon, sooner than later. This team is on to something if you can make that happen. I love Jack Campbell.
Let's say Huggy Bear asks, we draft Jalen Carter at 6. Trade up from 18, then what handful of players do you guys think would still be on the board? That's so hard. Huggy Bear, it's a great question. It's a great question. It all depends on where you trade up to, how much you have to give up to trade up to that spot, and obviously what the teams in front of that spot do. I mean, but you could be looking at anyone from Quentin Johnson to Christian Gonzalez to Joey Porter Jr., Lucas Van Ness, which would complement Jalen Carter because remember we're basing this off of drafting Carter at 6. The kid
Smith,
out of
maybe.
Yeah, Nolan Smith, the kid out of Maryland, Banks, Deontay Banks, the cornerback. That could be an option in that, middle of the first round too, if you were to take and you wanted to replace Okudah with the draft pick, which is not necessarily a bad idea. But I don't know. I mean, if they get Carter or Anderson at 6, I don't really care what they do after that, to be honest with you.
That's fair, yo.
That's the great expert analysis that I'm going to give you tonight. I don't care what they do if they end up with Carter or Anderson after 6.
That's fair. That's fair. Because those are going to be two of the more not difficult. Those are going to be two of the more difficult decisions they're going to have to make in terms of how to get those guys, and if they should. So, yeah, they're the biggest players who could tip the Lions' fortune right now in this draft. Oh, Truth Teller's here. What up, Truth Teller? What up, Truth? You just missed the Jalen Carter film session, man.
And Truth, we think that's why you missed the first part of the show.
He's like, I miss him? No, I'm good. Okay.
No, he's good.
Appreciate you, my guy. What's happening?
So ideally, Will Anderson or Jalen Carter at 6. Next week, on Monday, when we get to our live show at 9 o'clock, we are going to be hitting and looking at Tyree Wilson, who we believe is the third best prospect for the Lions to take at 6, should he be available. So we're going to talk about that. And then after that, we have 2 more shows before the live, Eric. 2 more shows live before our draft show.
Yeah.
It's going to be exciting. It's going to be great. We're going to see every single one of you guys there. I appreciate every single one of you stopping by tonight. This is Beyond the Box. We're coming at you live twice a week now, Monday nights at 9 o'clock, Thursday nights at 9 o'clock, and then a little deeper dive shows on Tuesdays and Fridays at 5. So make sure you've liked and subscribed to our YouTube channel. Make sure you like this video and share this video so we can really build a great Detroit sports community, because we love the community we've already started to build with some of you guys that we see in the comments often, like Huggy Bear and Trutella and Austin LeBeau and Arturo Lopez, Big Play J, all you guys, Hal 9000, you out of the park tonight. So great job. We'll keep building this community.
I don't see Ricky anywhere in here today,
I
but
don't
we'll
see
let him
Ricky. That's
slide. It's
okay.
okay.
We'll let him slide.
Yeah, we'll let him slide today.
We got another show dropping tomorrow at 5, and then we'll see you Monday live at 9 o'clock to talk about Tyree Wilson. Y'all have a great night, a safe weekend, and as always, go Lions.
Yeah.